Take lead, murderer!
Hold your fire! This man isn't the Black Silence!
What? It's...
Hello, this is Unscripted Veno again. I promised somewhat weekly videos, wanna get myself on a consistent schedule, and so here we are. I thought I'd want to talk about my previous video. This one is gonna be more like an addendum, answering questions that people had in the comments and some questions that I also had in mind after uploading the video. And also some silly stuff about like what characters can survive the Project Moon universe. Most of them gonna clear it. Project Moon is not really a high tier universe, but still something fun I want to do. But yeah, if you didn't watch the previous video, I highly recommend it. I'm very proud of it. And if you don't, this one is not gonna make too much sense. So yeah. If you don't really care about that and want to see how Goku fares in the city or whatever, skip to like the next chapter or so. But right now, I'm gonna answer some questions. Many asked why would I drop you without the meta knowledge? And at the moment I thought it would be more interesting since it's more relatable to the people inside the setting. Since they don't know what's gonna happen in Limbus Company, they don't know the secrets of the wings, right? They're just regular dudes, but with some like augmentations and some like general know-how on how the world works around them. And I thought, yeah, if you like survive a couple of months, maybe you can catch up in terms of knowledge. And then everyone's saying like, oh, I'm gonna die like second one, like first minute, the rats are gonna spawn camp me. And I don't think that's necessarily true. The rats are more of a luck factor, since you're gonna spawn and the rats are not like everywhere. The back streets are not absolutely like desolate places or anything like that. Project Moon is really inconsistent in how they portray the back streets, because on one hand, there's the Roland Short with Angelica, and the back streets seem pretty much fine there. They traveled quite a bit of distance without any accidents. But in other cases, the back streets are kind of like, they're almost empty, and the only people you see there are bandits, rats, and other rabble. So I assume that the back streets are more similar to like walking in the ghetto at night. It's not guaranteed that you're gonna get stabbed. You know, if you carry yourself in a not weak manner, I guess, or not clueless, I thought it would be more fine. Maybe not, right? We don't have too much information about how an average person really survives the city. It just says that, oh, it's misery day in and day out. The only kind of general knowledge you have is from Kali and how she survived as a child, but that's about it. Some other testaments as well, but you think about it, like even children like Kali kind of survive in the back streets, and generally people somehow have a survival rate there. So it shouldn't be impossible for an average guy from our world to survive there. Like surviving the first night generally comes down to whether or not you know about the sweepers and know where you can take shelter. But yeah, let's talk about questions. So, what will happen if you were dropped in with meta knowledge? So I see this happening in three different ways. First one is that you realize immediately in what situation you are in, or maybe an hour or two, and then you have a mental breakdown and possibly gain a distortion. Now, a prerequisite for distortions is that you need to have a pre-established strong belief in something, and that belief needs to be shattered somehow. Like, for example, if you really believe that if you were to be transported into the city, you would be a badass fixer, but in a day or two, your hopes get shattered and you realize how essentially fucked you are. And then you break down, and then Carmen whispers in your ear, like, do you want to become the red mist? Do you want to become a color? What is the shape of your fixer-shaped soul? And then you become distortion. But for that, you already need to have some kind of pre-established strong belief, and not everyone has that kind of thing. And it's not a guarantee that the average person is gonna have this prerequisite. Now, let's say that a lot of people have their goals, their dreams, and they somehow get dashed in the city, and because of that, they have mental breakdown, and the distortions gonna happen a lot more frequently for most people. If you do get turned into a distortion, you're just gonna have a target painted on your back, since many people will see you as just a nuisance, and you're gonna have a fixer contract with your name on it. Or best case scenario, you're gonna get captured by Limbus Company or some other organization that's gonna research you, I guess. But yeah, no, as a distortion, unless you become a controllable distortion, which is super rare, you probably need to have a really strong will to actually stay sane during distortion. But if you do, you'll still have a pretty good target on your back, but you might end up pretty powerful in the end. There's also something to consider with your meta knowledge is that you do know about the processes of distortions and ego, you've seen them firsthand. And with that knowledge, you can abuse the process and essentially cheat yourself and ego. Now, the process of distorting is heavily rigged towards Carmen and not the one who is distorting. So that's why not everyone is popping ego left and right. But with you knowing how all of this works, you'll have an easier time rejecting Carmen, even if she says some convincing words and maybe there's some kind of mind manipulation going on. You can more easily break out of it and gain ego. So it is more feasible than you might think. But in the end, you will still need a prerequisite of actually having a strong belief in the first place to be targeted by Carmen. It's not just, oh, I'm gonna die. This kind of mental breakdown is not gonna work. I'm sorry. Next suggestion is joining a wing, which I already covered briefly in the video, but joining a wing is probably not gonna be possible. In fact, I did make a concession there that you still stay in the back streets, right? Because without any proper documentation, like you don't have anything on you, the head doesn't know that you're even in the city legally, right? So you have a huge chance to just be kicked out of the city outright into the outskirts. And this is pretty much a death sentence. You're just not gonna have any sustenance. You're not gonna have any experience in the setting to even like feasibly survive there. There are some children who somehow survive in the outskirts, but they probably are pretty savvy and have parents. Or maybe they don't, I don't know. And in the outskirts, there are sweepers and stuff. So yeah, you're pretty much cooked like day 1, day 2. If you don't get killed, you're probably gonna starve there. However, if we stay on the original video's course and you are thrown into the back streets and you immediately think to yourself, okay, I'm gonna survive the first night, and then I'm gonna go into a study town, for example, or apply for a nest permit, or maybe get some connections, right? Even with meta knowledge, you're not exactly guaranteed to get there. We don't even know what the exams for getting a nest permit even consist of. We do know that not many backstreet dwellers know how to read or write because of the extreme lack of education. So maybe an average person from a first world country will have a chance, especially if they are proficient in some kind of technical field. There's also knowledge that was lost in the city, for example, languages or maybe even some technology. So you could be useful in terms of that. That's like another reason to start your own workshop or business. But yeah, we don't really know a lot of information on how to get into a wing, so it's not exactly reliable. But there is a chance that the knowledge of the modern world might come and play there. And you may be able to like study up a bit for a couple of months and then apply for the exam and maybe get into the wing that way. But I honestly doubt it, and there's a lot of uncertainty in that, so I didn't really talk about it in the video. Going to Limbus Company. This is a lot harder than you might realize. So it depends on when you exactly appear, right? So you do get into the city before the events of Limbus Company and after Library of Runa, but how before, right? So are you like a year prior to Limbus? Are you during Limbus? If that's the case, are you there during a certain Kanto, right? If you, for example, appear during the time frame of Kanto 2, can you even get to J Corp? Can you get to K Corp to intercept the sinners on Kanto 3? If you can get to them, how are you gonna join them? How are they gonna help you, right? The only person that's gonna feasibly understand you is Faust, since she might be able to discern how you actually appeared here, what's your situation, she might actually believe you, and not many sinners are even gonna be sympathetic towards you. And the main obstacle is actually Virgilius, since he's gonna be like, oh, that's just a random backstreets guy, just ignore him or throw him into the bus. So I don't think going to the sinners is gonna be the best choice. It could work, but the probability is like really low, and they're not even gonna help you much, I don't think. Like, are you gonna become like the 14th sinner or something? Yeah, that's not really gonna happen. Going to HamHamPangPang, that's like too meta. We know that the in-universe sandwich shops of Project Moon are not gonna get destroyed. They have pretty much unlimited plot armor. But then again, are you gonna be even useful, like, working there? Can you stay there for an indefinite period of time? Remember, you're considered like a rat, if not even lower, so I don't think they're gonna be too kind to you if you don't pay for a sandwich or two, you know? I don't see this working in any way, I'm sorry. Becoming a sweeper. This might be actually a decent loophole, all things considered. Now, sweepers are pretty much jobbers if they're faced with even a decently powered opponent, but you will still have like a horde of you, and the in-group dynamic might be somewhat resembling the middle, since they also refer to each other like with family names like uncle and brother and stuff. So they might have some kind of friendly connection to each other, and that will make it easier for you to actually survive in the city. But then again, are you really living if you are a sweeper? You're just kind of sweeping. You're eating corpses or what, like extracting fuel. You will survive, but it's not gonna be a very fulfilling experience. Like, instead of pizza, you're gonna be just eating human remains, and I don't think that's gonna be too pleasant. Like, you do you, I guess, but it is kind of surviving. But I don't know about that one. Becoming a Bloodfiend. Yeah, no, that's not happening. You need to first find a Bloodfiend, which is already really hard to do. Second, you need to get sired by that Bloodfiend. Third, you need to be worthy of actually being sired, as to not become a regular blood bag. And fourth, you will get somewhat of a power boost, but you're not gonna be invincible, and you're not gonna be fulfilled for the rest of your life because of the Bloodfiend curse, because you need to drink blood all the time. You will have a family, and you will have some kind of group that might protect you, but in all other cases, it's not really a pleasant experience still. Just join the syndicate at this point, like, come on, man. Now, what about the phone? Some comments suggested that the phone might have a lot of pictures of the real world, and that's gonna be more evidence towards you selling information about it. One of the comments even said that an entire Project Moon database is gonna be downloaded on their phone, and so the meta amnesia is not gonna work on them. And that's a good loophole, not gonna lie. However, the phone is not gonna live for long because you won't be able to charge it. The city probably doesn't come with Type-C or lightning chargers, I assume. But even then, selling information about your own world is gonna be really, really difficult. You'll need some connections, you need some relations, you'll already need to have some reputation. So to even attempt this, you're gonna have to live in a setting for like, what, a month at least? Probably more like years to establish some kind of connections, so that they can introduce you to people who can buy this information, who are gonna be interested, and then this proof is gonna work. But then no one is obligated to even buy this information from you, because they can just take it from you by force. You have little to no rights as a backstreets dweller, and any person who is able to buy some information like that is gonna be powerful enough to overpower you. So why waste money if they can just incapacitate you and torture you for this information? There is memory scanning technology in the city, so I don't see why would anyone even try to reason with you if you don't already have some kind of muscle to retaliate. It honestly would be more trouble than it's worth. It could work still. There are some fringe cases that I'm not considering. There's luck. There are people who don't want to kill you outright, who don't want to get blood on their hands without good reason. But still, this method of getting money is not that great, I don't feel like. Now, the Shin question. Now, this method is gonna be probably the easiest comparatively, at least in terms of gaining large amounts of power. Shin is usually shown to be used by the strong people of the verse, like color fixers, and even beasts like Lei Hang barely managed to manifest Shin and Mang. You apparently need to clear a mind of emotions and then let a single memory fill you with a certain kind of emotion, maybe two, maybe three. And it's probably something similar to meditation, or how anime swordsmen clear their mind to have a huge anime power boost. It is something that can definitely be taught, but you'll still need to find a mentor to actually teach you the mechanics of Shin, especially if you don't have the meta knowledge. We still don't know too much about this power system, so I'm not gonna dwell too much upon it, but it is a potential gateway to top tier power, which may appear more feasible as we get more information about Shin in the future. Now it's time to do some silly power scaling shenanigans. When you talk about Project Moon and the city in general, the power levels kinda cap out at about country level, maybe a bit higher, I guess. So if there's a character that is able to exceed that level, then they're capable of just one-shotting the entire city altogether. But that's not gonna be interesting. If a character is not purely destructive and can function as a member of society, then I'm gonna try to picture how he's gonna fit in within the city, like what job they're gonna take on. Maybe they'll become a color, maybe they're gonna go to the outskirts just for fun, maybe they're gonna get cleared night one. And I have a bit of a list of some characters that I wanted to talk about because why not? They just came to mind. So yeah, this is gonna be a mess and purely speculative. You can have your opinions, blah blah blah. Let's go. Oh, and also they're gonna appear in the backstreet, because if they appear in the nest, they'll probably have to face some resistance from the nest guards and then from the whole nest, and it's gonna just escalate until they fight the head. And that's just not gonna be very interesting in my opinion. So yeah, they're gonna start in the backstreets. So, Goku. Now, first things first, straight up, Goku is gonna one-shot the entire verse. There's nothing the city can do, the head cannot employ any singularities or stuff. Goku has immunities to pretty much everything. And now, I'm not too knowledgeable about Dragon Ball, so Goku may have some weaknesses that I'm not aware of. But as far as I know, Goku is just too fast and too strong to be beaten in a direct confrontation. He is casually moon level very early in the series. Like, if I remember correctly, in the 21st Tenkaichi, he's contending with moonbusters like Roshi. And I guess everyone else in the tournament is easily country level, which is absolutely dumb. But even then, the head has some hacks, right? They've got a lot of singularities that can neutralize Goku in some type of way. But then Goku is just too fast, he has precognition, he has teleportation, he's got everything he needs to pretty much speed blitz the head if they aggro on him in any sort of way. So the only logical play for the head to not be instantly evaporated is just leave Goku alone. And because of that, he just calmly spawns in the back streets, and maybe some rats are gonna attempt to stab him, and then knives are just gonna bend because Goku has too much aura or whatever. And he's just gonna chill because nothing in the city is even remotely close to harming him. And he may go about living in the city in two ways. One, he's just gonna straight up kill the head because he realizes how tyrannical they are. Or not kill, Goku doesn't kill unless necessary. Or second, he becomes like an ultra super color fixer, like the orange monkey. And then he just goes out of the city and lives in the outskirts and tries to defend the city in that way. Because there's nothing in the city that's gonna realistically contest him. And any collateral that will result because of his battles is gonna harm a lot of civilians. So I don't think Goku is gonna be fine with that. And there's a third option that he's gonna just chill, like go to HamHamPangPang and eat some sandwiches and live a comfortable life as a casual fixer. But I don't think his sense of justice is gonna let him do that. And we don't know anything about the cosmology of Project Moon besides, Ain and Carmen being in the light. We don't know whether space travel is possible in the city, whether the head looked into like the stars and the planets that surround their planet. We don't even know if the planet that the city is on, even like Earth or anything close to that. For all we know, they could be like on turtles. But yeah, Goku is gonna try to traverse space and try to find Namek or wherever he lives. I don't know shit about Dragon Ball, I'm sorry. I watched only Dragon Ball Super. Why am I even talking about this? Holy fuck. But yeah, there's nothing interesting for Goku to do in the city, really. Project Moon is too much of an underpowered setting for him comparatively, so he's got really nothing to do here. And because he's such a good character, his morality isn't gonna like get shaken up or nothing interesting is gonna happen to him really. He's got a pretty solid mental, all things considered. So no distortions or ego shenanigans are gonna happen to him. Like there's always a chance, of course, but it's really unlikely with him. But yeah, I'm getting tired just talking about this guy. Let's move on to someone more interesting. Alright, Jotaro Kujo from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Now, he's gonna be a little more down to earth because JoJo's doesn't really have like crazy power levels in terms of pure combat ability. They do have a lot of ridiculous hacks, so it's gonna help Jotaro a lot, especially his time stop in fighting. His first night is gonna be really easy. He might even be able to fight off the sweeper waves by himself. And even if he isn't able to do that, he's deceptively smart for such a character. So he might be able to quickly figure out how to get shelter and not get swept up. And then after that, he's really got only one way to go, and that is fixer work. The fact that his stand is pretty much invisible to everyone and has time stop on top of that really puts him at a very unique advantage. Now, this is assuming that the moment he uses time stop, he isn't ganked by the head, in which case it's game over. But for most of these characters, I'm just gonna assume that the head doesn't instantly kill them, because that would be boring. But yeah, he's probably gonna cap out at like grade 5, grade 4 maybe, if he doesn't augment himself and stays with the same set of abilities. Because yes, Star Platinum is incredibly strong, it's got time stop and stuff, it's got ranged attacks, it's really good. But Jotaro himself is just a dude, and he's really vulnerable. And a fast enough combatant is just gonna speed blitz Jotaro himself, and he's not gonna have a lot of options to defend against that. Like maybe he'll pop the world if his reaction speed is fast enough, but other than that, he's not really got options. But after he gets enough money and augments himself, I think he's easily like grade 1 material. And while I don't know if Star Platinum will scale to his like personal combat strength, it is gonna be a really good asset because, well, it is an invisible combatant. And also, we should not forget that depending on which Jotaro, like part 3, part 4, part 6, we take into the city, he's got a PhD in marine biology, which means he's much smarter than an average backstreets dweller. So if he studies at a test town or like wherever for the nest test, for like 6 months or maybe a year, he's got a very good chance to just migrate to the nest and work from there, which is already a huge win. And after that, he can keep working in an office and earn money that way. And even if he gets seriously injured, he's pretty tough for just a regular dude, though I should be calling Jotaro anything but regular. So yeah, Jojo's gonna be pretty well adjusted to the city. He's really tough mentally, so there's a low risk of distorting either. And even if he does somehow distort, I'm pretty sure he just gets ego immediately. That's just the type of dude he is. Invincible from... This is gonna be interesting since this opens up the conversation about flight in the city. You'd expect it to be more commonplace among fixers because, well, the setting is so high-tech that someone had probably invented something like jet boots or jetpacks or whatever. G-Corp is all about gravity, so maybe they invented something that has like low gravity properties to it. And we do see some minor flights like the G-Corp soldiers in Kanto 1 or the drones from Kanto 4, but nothing that lets you just fly above the city blocks and cross districts in hours or minutes. So my hunch is that there's some kind of taboo the head enforces about the restricted flight rules. Like maybe there's some kind of altitude limit to all flight. And so the moment Mark just spawns in the city and flies into the sky to check his surroundings, he's probably gonna just get shot out of the sky by the head and instantly lose. But then again, he's really durable and pretty strong, and we're talking about TV series Invincible, by the way. If we pit Mark against the head like straight away, he's gonna lose, and not based on power, no. He's arguably like country level, if not Moonbuster tier, depending on which point of the series we're talking about. But he's super vulnerable to anything that doesn't include just trading fist to fist. Almost any hacks that the head can throw at him have a pretty good chance to just straight up incapacitate him or make him useless in battle. And Mark does tend to hold back at first, so he'll get captured very easily, I reckon. However, if we take the head out of the equation, he's easily a color fixer. And he will become a fixer since he is a superhero after all. His raw strength and durability and reaction speed and just overall just raw stats will allow him to be pretty much the best color there is. But even despite all that, he does have the potential to not even survive the first night. He's very hesitant towards killing humans, and the moment the sweeper waves will come, he might be completely overwhelmed by them and just like torn apart. It is a low probability, but there is potential of him just dying straight up. And even during his life in the city, well, like climbing up the ranks and just the process of becoming the color fixer, fighting distortions and other fixers and syndicates. Most of the fights are gonna be really easy for him, but one fight is all it takes for him to get incapacitated by some kind of technology, like the sound waves can even knock him out. And overall, he's really vulnerable to that kind of stuff, so he might not even survive that long in the city, despite him being very strong. But yeah, in the best case scenario, he becomes a really strong color fixer, but he's not going beyond the head. No shot. Columbo. Now, I haven't watched the TV series that he comes from, so my view of the character is based entirely on Gianni's voiceover memes. And how I see Columbo is just that he's this super detective that's incredibly smooth and can suss out pretty much anyone. But in the end, he is just a regular dude, albeit with higher than average human intelligence. So he'll still struggle very hard in the first night. He's probably just dying here at this point. And he's a total non-combatant, so he'll need to get some kind of a job somewhere. And the closest thing we have to real detective work, well, apart from Distortion Detective, of course, is the Seven Association. Now, I'm not sure if the Seven actually accepts non-combatants into their ranks. You probably need to be at least a grade 9 fixer to go there. And imagine like Mecha Columbo just strutting up to the Seven and just like, yeah, I want to be a detective. That's a pretty funny sight to me, at least in my mind. But yeah, he's not gonna go too far in terms of ranking. He'll be just one of those regular citizens that struggle to pay rent every month. But he is pretty smart, so he has a decent chance of getting into the nest via the tests. And after that, he can become like a private detective in the nest, and Winx can like commission him to investigate some murders of some feathers in the nest. And he's gonna be pretty good there until some guy just decides to murder him because, you know, Columbo is trying to investigate a murder and the murderer is probably very powerful and just gonna one-shot him. So no matter how you slice it, he's not really surviving this setting, unfortunately. Now we come to L from Death Note. So L is pretty much the Faust of the Death Note universe, but of course without relying on something like the Gesellschaft. And I do think that in the Project Mu universe, geniuses are really OP. They do tend to have pretty good survival rates because they're so useful, but they're not exactly in like high-ranking positions so as to not be a target, and L might just fall into that camp. So first night he easily deduces that he needs a shelter, and even if he gets ganked by rats, he is really athletic, so he may take on one rat, maybe two if he's like really good at it, but at the very least he's fully capable of just outrunning them. Then it's gonna be extremely easy for him to study up for the nest exams. It might take him like a couple of days at most. And then after that, in the nest, he is pretty much set, yeah. He's gonna be taken in by a wing, and he's gonna realize that his given wing is not really doing anything for his benefit and is probably gonna sacrifice him at some point. And so he might do something on his own, or maybe go to Zwei and be like a detective for them, or to the Seven Association. If he's willing to put on some augmentations, he's gonna be a really, really good combatant. He will be able to read his opponents like a book and just outplay them constantly, even if he's at a power disadvantage. And yeah, the only like danger that can pose him really is that a wing is gonna lock him up and just sacrifice him anyway, because something similar happened to Hohenheim, or rather his partner. So he's still, of course, not invincible because he is physically just a guy, but his brain is just so overwhelmingly humongous that he's not gonna have any trouble just comprehending the setting and choosing the best course of action for himself. And last, at least for the ones I wanted to discuss, is Natsuki Subaru from ReZero. And this one is the most interesting for me, since, well, he's got two aspects of him that are gonna be really unique. The first one, of course, is his Return by Death ability, which gives him a checkpoint. And because of that, he's gonna learn about the city pretty quickly, despite, you know, dying to rats, dying to sweepers, dying in all of the horrible ways. And the only game over condition for him is gonna be getting captured or put in stasis or something along those lines. There's the possibility of him returning by death like once and the head knowing about it, so they can just snatch him up instantly and he loses. But of course, including the head into everything is no fun, so he will be able to run amok and do his usual Natsuki Subaru stuff. But at some point he will mentally break down, and he is the most susceptible protagonist to being distorted. He's got pretty much zero chance of acquiring ego, since Carmen has some kind of like mental manipulation thing, and Subaru is probably pretty susceptible to that. But then again, if we take into account his encounter with the witches, specifically Echidna, it is something similar to Carmen, I believe, since Echidna was trying to manipulate him into accepting the deal. So Subaru might actually gain ego just because of that experience. But even if he gains ego, it's not going to be a super huge boost in power. He might be able to reach grade 5 or somewhere around that with this. And of course it depends on the ego, but if we take into account like Dongrang and how he was like a total non-combatant and he gained ego, and he was kind of powerful, like maybe on par with like grade 5 or something like that. I don't know. It's pretty iffy to compare like power levels of Limbus with fixer grades, and the whole like power scaling thing is kind of stupid anyway, but I'm doing it for fun. But yeah, Return by Death will make Subaru really, really rich, since he can just try again and again to learn the secrets of a wing. And then after knowing what singularity they have, he can just sell that information. Or better yet, he can just go to a casino. But in terms of combat, he's not gonna improve that much, even with augmentations, since he's not shown to be a particularly skilled fighter, or at least not a particularly strong one. And if we're still considering distorting, is Return by Death even gonna like restore him to his previous state? Oh, it probably will, since Heathcliff did get killed and then revived, and that reverted his distortion. I think that's how it went. So yeah, Subaru is gonna go crazy a couple of times, that's for sure, and he will be able to be really well off in the city, unless he gets captured and indefinitely like suspended in stasis or something, in which case it's game over. Now, what I want to do at the end of this video is just scroll through the versus battle wiki and see what other characters that I haven't thought of we'll see if they can survive Project Moon, where they're gonna end up. Maybe they're gonna just blitz the head or whatever. We're gonna use the random page function of this wiki. So yeah, let's see where that takes us. Okay, off to a great start. A gun? How's that? Like, why are items in this versus battle thing? I thought there were only characters. Okay, whatever. Let's go to another one. Jenna, Golden Sun. This seems like a JRPG character. Jenna is a childhood friend of Isaac and Garrett. Okay, in Golden Sun, Dark Dawn. All right. Tier, at least high 4C. Okay, so that's too strong. Large star level, no FTL plus, no, that's insane. In terms of durability, yeah, no. Well, maybe she has some kind of like weakness in terms of hacks, that she can be like frozen in time or something. But other than that, no. And I don't even know this character, so like whatever, I don't really care. Finn, this is from Dragon Ball? No, we're skipping Dragon Ball, I'm sorry. Hyunsu Lee, this is from a manhwa. Is a minor character of How to Fight. So he's just, okay, he's superhuman. Wall level, peak. Okay. Standard human weaknesses. Alright, he can be like grade 9, I guess. Maybe a grade 8 is if he tries hard enough. But he probably dies in the first night, I'm sorry. Oh, this is good. Lao Gui, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. He's that assassin guy from Yakuza 0. I really like the boss fight with him. Wait, what? His building level? What evenly but ultimately lost to Goro Majima. Is Goro building level? Excuse me? Subsonic speeds with hypersonic reactions. Building level, striking strength. No way. No. Yakuza character. What even Yakuza is about? Like, what? I thought he was just a regular dude. And I know that not everything in the versus battles wiki should be considered like seriously, because there's a lot of silly stuff, and like power scaling by itself is pretty silly. But man, okay, he's really good. So building level is like what? Like grade 6? I'm not sure. He's probably hovering around Urban Plague if we're counting in those levels. Maybe like around Yuna or something, right? And he will be able to become really skilled because, you know, he's a really cool like assassin guy. So he has the potential to be grade 2 or grade 1. But he'll probably be like a bodyguard for like some syndicate. But yeah, this is an insane character, surprisingly enough. Okay, that was fun. Let's go again. Sea Spawn from Dungeons and Dragons. That's just like a non-human. Like inevitably we're gonna encounter some non-humans that are gonna just get insta-killed by the head, and I'm not gonna like say like, oh, we're not counting the head. No, they're gonna be safe in the city. The head is not fun. Yeah, no, for non-humans this is just a hard no, unfortunately. What Roblox encounters? What is this? No, this is like Vigilante from the Arrowverse. Never watched anything by DC. Uh, like I think I watched the Man of Steel movie. So his 9B, I'm not sure what that means. I have the tiering system somewhere here, but yeah, I'm not gonna return to it that often because all the powers are just listed here. So he's superhuman, he's wall level, he's supersonic, which is pretty good. Okay, wall level. Okay, he's like grade 8 maybe material, grade 7. So he's pretty good, yeah. R4R. Oh, that's from Hyperdimension Neptunia. Yeah, I played those games. So what are her? Oh no, she's like, whoa, no, whoa, multiverse. Nah, oh hell nah. Yeah, and she's like magic and stuff, and she's got, oh no, nah. She solos. I'm sorry. What? Excuse me? Who power scales a trebuchet? Wait, what? Yeah, that's like the strongest verse there is in the real world. Yeah, wall level trebuchet, insane. So trebuchet can become like a grade 9 fixer, a grade 8 if it like tries enough, I guess. I'm very glad it's not gonna get killed by the sweepers because it's not a human, right? It's just like a thing. And I'm not sure if the city follows like a similar history to our Earth. So maybe trebuchets are gonna be a new technology for the head. That would be really funny. Just like a trebuchet just spawns out of a portal, and everyone looks at it and says, wow, this is a technology we've never seen before. Maybe it's like too powerful. Oh my god. But if we're considering like Otis and her origin book with the Trojan horse and stuff, it's probably, there was something similar to this thing. Hisashi Mitsui, the best basketball player. Okay, what's he got? He got street level, superhuman, street level. Okay, gifted intelligence. He's pretty good. Okay, grade 9 material. Okay, Solomon from Hero I Quit a long time ago. I guess that's a manga or something. All right, so she's city level. Okay, she can destroy like a district. That's pretty freaking good. FTL speed, whoa, insane. City. Okay, that's like color fixer material, like pretty much like Aleph abnormality. She's got a lot of magic and stuff. Yeah, she's definitely like a star of the city kind of threat. And FTL speed, yeah, that's insane. Yeah, just based on this alone, she can probably do anything in the city. Unless she gets oh, she's got a lot of magic and probably like power absorption, like whatever. So she may have resistances to the head hacks. But yeah, she got a pretty good chance of just destroying the head. So yeah, yeah, cool character, Another Dungeons and Dragons mob, Barghest. Okay, Aramusha for honor. Why do they even power scale these guys? Who even has the time to do all of this? Like what? Zan post rebirth? Is this a DC Comics character? Yeah, it is. Okay. Wonder Twins. So peak human street level. Wow, I thought it was a really strong character because, you know, DC. But I guess I was wrong. They're just like regular dudes. Grade 9. Carl Heisenberg. From where is this Resident Evil? Yeah, okay. So he's pretty strong. building level, class K building level. Yeah, okay. He does look like some kind of like fixer already. He's got like this shabby clothing and a like trench coat that'll fit right in the city. I really like his design, honestly. I haven't played. I think I played like Resident Evil 7, but I didn't finish it, so I'm not sure like from what exactly game he is like in the series. Yeah, he's a human mutant, so he's gonna fit in the city pretty good. He's building level, superhuman, subsonic speeds. Wow, he really genius intellect also. He'll fit right in actually. He might be like a great free material, maybe? That's pretty good. He also has a mutated form. Oh, okay. He's really good after the mutation. Alright, alright. Yeah, I really like this character, not gonna lie. Maybe I should play the Resident Evil games. Corbao? Puella Magi Tart Magica. Is this the Madoka thing? Puella Magi Tart Magica, The Legend of Jeanne d'Arc. 30 level, hypersonic, city level, okay, she's like a star of the city instantly. She probably has some kind of magic. She's also a genius. Oh, she's got damage reflection. She's got stamina depletion reflection. She's got like all kinds of resistances. Oh, she's so good. Oh, telekinesis. Yeah, she's already like color fixer material. I should consider myself lucky that I'm not encountering any more like outer versal threats, like any more Goku. So tier 1, tier 0, oh, tier -11. Holy hell. The Wandering Samurai from Rhythm Heaven. He knows his way around the sword, that's for sure. Superhuman speed, street level attacks. Okay, this is the superhuman speed is pretty good, pretty decent. So yeah, grade 9 material, grade 8. Yeah, it's pretty good. Flag Smasher, who the hell is this? No, I'm skipping you, dude. Yu Zhang? What mobile legend? No, I'm not scaling you. Electro Dragon Clash of Clans. Why am I getting fucking mobile game slob? Like I'm not interested. Okay, supersonic, class K, whatever that means. Big human stamina. Oh my god, it's gonna be like urban, I don't know, urban nightmare maybe. I don't really care. G4, yeah, that's One Punch Man actually. I should have mentioned One Punch Man. How would he fare in the city? Like I know he can one-shot everyone, but he's not gonna get color fixer, that's for sure, because of the narrative of his series. So he's probably gonna be like some kind of low-grade fixer, and he will be like doing some stuff in the city, and maybe going in the outskirts and defeating some like Star of the City threats. But he would be pretty chill. This G4 guy, however, like Machine God, so he's hypersonic, town level, alright. That's yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. He is a Star of the City material instantly because he can like pretty much destroy half of the district. Similar to Philip. Like he's also got some kind of like true form, and he's like super cool in this. Oh, he's got like some kind of ketchup, some kind of syrup. So yeah, he's probably maybe like low tier color, like not the red mist kind of thing, but more like grass maiden kind of thing. You know, not the primary color thing. Monster Unit Amaterasu. Oh boy, BlazBlue. Oh, this is pretty much God. I want to make a BlazBlue video at some point. But yeah, it's this guy is insane. This is like versus Ain kind of thing. Mayura from Miraculous. Oh, all right. Miraculous is a pretty interesting kind of verse. Since at first glance you'd think that this is just like a kid's cartoon with just street fighting and people in latex costumes and stuff, but when it comes down to it, there is some ridiculous stuff that can happen in there. Like I think the main character gets kind of like wish powers or something, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, this character, like whatever, wall level. Nah, your father, dude. Your father. Grape shot? What the hell is this? Plants vs Zombies. 8B. Wait, that's like city block level. What is this, a nuke? What the hell? Yeah, building level, city block level. Yeah, this is like a very large scale explosion pretty much. But this is more of an item than anything else, in my opinion. Soma from Naruto. I'm not interested in Naruto, not really. Well, it does have like city level, this whatever. Look, power scaling by itself is pretty silly when you just go around the wiki and pick characters to fight your verse. And you're like, oh, my character can beat your character because they're stronger and they have hacks and whatever. It's pretty silly. It's like playground level kind of discussions. It's still pretty fun, don't get me wrong, but it kind of gets tiring and nonsensical after a while. And I don't want to keep it up for too long, but it was kind of cool. Project Moon does pose itself to power scaling pretty well because of the whole dangers kind of thing with Urban Plague, Urban Nightmare, the fixer grades, the color fixers, all the dangers that poses, because there's a huge range of power from rats to like city-wide threats. So the setting is pretty cool in that regard. Yeah, so I think I'm done here. I had my fun. Next video is probably gonna be about the reading list. Similar types of videos are gonna come out weekly because I wanna just talk about whatever I feel like and have a somewhat consistent schedule. It just keeps me more motivated to have something put out. And don't worry, the high effort videos are not gonna stop. The next one is probably gonna be the expansion to the reading list, a kind of part 2 if you will. So yeah, like and comment if you like this sort of thing, or maybe you don't want this in the first place. You can let me know down below, and subscribe if you want to support me in general. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.